Hi from Grandmom to my favorite bakers. Hope you find this video helpful. Here's a list of the ingredients in the equipment/utensils that you need for making apple pie filling. You don't need to write it down because I've given you paper copies. There's also a list for the pie crust, ingredients and equipment. You'll probably want to make the crust first and put it in the refrigerator to chill because...
Recording.
Well, hello.
Hello.
I'm making this video for my grandson Marcus, who wanted to learn how to make an apple pie, and also for Jocelyn, who also likes to cook and bake, and she probably would like to have a recipe too. It's especially the pie crust probably for Jocelyn. But anyway, here goes. And this is my grandmother's recipe, and my grandmother made the best apple pie that I know of, and she always used Northern Spy apples, which are not available here in Maryland, but sometimes I can get them if somebody comes down to visit me. Anyway, the alternative to that is Macintosh apples. And she always said, her recipe says 6 or 7 good-sized apples, Bernie. So anyway, here we go. We're going to start. I'm just going to peel a couple of these so you'll just remember how, because I know we did it before. Usually I take the stem out by just holding onto the stem and turning the apple. Sometimes it won't come out, and you just have to make do. And I guess this is one of those apples whose stem won't come out. So first of all, I'm going to peel it.
Go around the other side.
There's lots of peelers in the world. This is my favorite. Papa doesn't like this one. He's a lefty like you are, Marcus, so I don't know, maybe it doesn't work as well for him, but it's...
I don't think it matters. It's just that I don't particularly like that style.
Anyway, you have to peel them with something. And I usually peel into a colander. So you get as much of the peel off as you can. You can't get it all. The top and the bottom will still have some. Anyway, then, remember how we did? We cut right through the center of the apple, right from the stem, right on down to where comes out the bottom. And it's not easy to do. Sometimes you might want to use a board. Do it on a board, Marcus, because your hands are smaller than mine right now. Someday they'll be much bigger. But anyway, you cut the apple into quarters, right down through the center.
Don't cut your thumb.
You don't cut your thumb. And then we cut a little triangle off the top, a little triangle off the bottom, and you make a V from each end to get out the center. And I've used all my bowls because Thanksgiving is coming. I've used all my bowls for other things, so I'm using a pan to mix up the apples in. Okay, then I'm going to just slice it up. Kind of small, kind of skinny slices, but they don't have to be paper thin. I'm trying to conserve on bowls, so I haven't used another bowl to put these in. I just put the peeled quarters right in this pot. Okay, there's a couple of things I didn't say at the beginning, and I should have. One of which is, of course, you have to wash your hands before you start any of this. And also, when you start your pie crust, you have to make sure that your counter is nice and clean.
Also, we're going to answer the phone, so we're going to stop for a minute.
Okay, I did want to say, and I probably said it before, make sure you do wash your hands before you start all this. And then when you're ready to actually do the pie crust, you have to make sure your countertop is clean. Both of which things I did, but I didn't talk about it at the beginning. And I also set the oven to preheat at 425. Okay, this is going to be a 10-inch pie. The pie plate that I gave you for your birthday, Marcus, was a 9-inch pie plate, but because it's a Thanksgiving, a big one will probably be better, so I have a 10-inch, but I'm still using the same recipe for apples and crust. So anyway, our apples are all peeled. Now we're going to add 3/4 of a cup of sugar. Some people say that tart pie should be a little bit tart, and with 3/4 of a cup of sugar it will be. If you find that you want it to be sweeter, next time you make when you make the next pie after that, then put a cup in. But I think it's good with 3/4 of a cup. It's just a little bit tart. Okay, 3/4 of a cup. 3 1/4 cups. Okay, we also are going to use a tablespoon of flour, which just helps to thicken up the juices that the apples give off. So here's a tablespoon, and I'm just going to rub it off with my finger, sprinkle that over the top. And my grandmother always used 1/3 of a teaspoon of nutmeg. And 1/3 of a teaspoon is hard to find, a measuring spoon that's 1/3 of a teaspoon. But fortunately for you, you got a set of measuring spoons for Christmas that have 1/3 of a teaspoon measuring spoon. And I don't have one here, so I'm cheating and having a little bit of a heavy 1/4 teaspoon. All right, then that's the nutmeg. Now the cinnamon is going to be 2/3 of a teaspoon. So we're just going to go a little bit heavy with a 1/2 teaspoon. But you'll be able to do it right because you'll have the right measuring spoons. Okay, just put that all in, and then you stir it all around, just to get the sugar all mixed in with the apples. And just stir till it looks like you've incorporated most of the sugar and it's not laying on the bottom of the pan. Oops. Did I push one out? I did. I might want to cut for a minute till I get done doing this.